What's up, world? Coming to you live. This is Living Water. My name is David S., and I'll be bringing you the living water via this video. Today was a very good day. I met a woman today, and we were eating lunch together at in school today, and she asked me, how long have I been doing hair, and just asked me some random questions. And I asked her what made her do hair. She asked me my age. I told her my age, 31. And I asked her her age. She told me 45. And I asked her, well, what made her come to school, and at 45 and want to change careers. I said, well, what did you do prior to actually having a desire to do hair? She said, well, I was a house mom. I took care of my kids. I have 4 beautiful children. And something told me to immediately look at her hands, and I didn't see a ring. So I said, are you and your husband still together? She says no. So she proceeds to tell me that she was married for 25 years, and she tells me that they're no longer together. And she starts to go into the story about, I asked if they were divorced. She said yes. I asked her how long was she divorced. She told me her divorce is final in July. And she was also telling me just, the process of what she went through. I thought it was funny because I'm actually divorced. And one thing that I realized was when God delivers you from a situation and heals and when He actually heals your heart, He always brings you to the forefront and allows people who are going through similar situations to bring you, I guess, to cross paths with you, and you can be able to help deliver them based on your testimony, the power of your testimony. So as she was talking, I heard pain, and, so I asked her, well, how are you dealing with it? She said, God. I said, wow, that's good. I said, are you going to church? She said, yes. She goes to Pastor Andy Stanley Satellite Church in Peachtree City. So I happened to tell her that, that I was divorced as well. She told me the story how she doesn't have any of her children. Her husband said that he made all the money, and he turned around and said that she was crazy and delusional and took pills and this, that, and the third. And she said that he was an alcoholic, and the father actually had 2 of the oldest children testify against her in court that they wanted to actually be with the father because they were actually 15 years old, 15 and 16. And so basically, after 25 years of marriage, the husband took all 4 children and left her by herself with no alimony, no job, no career, no ways of earning an income for herself. And all I heard was pain as she was talking, and all I did was listen. And so I asked her, well, how have you been dealing with the situation? Like, what's been your coping mechanism? And she said she's been in community groups, and she's been going to counseling, and she decided she just wanted to start living again. And I said, that sounds so wonderful that you say that. And then I brought up the fact that I was divorced. And I said, the fact that I've been divorced, I understand the pain, I understand the confusion that comes with it. But I understand the healing that actually comes after it, based on your decisions from here on out. And the way that God delivered me from the pain of my divorce was He had me look at myself instead of to looking to her for the blame. Basically, God had me look at myself and ask myself, allowed me to ask myself, where was I and who was I when I actually decided to marry her? Because my question to God was, God, how could you allow me to marry somebody that was like this? And the amazing thing is that God is always a God of free will. Love is never forceful. I said this yesterday. Love is never forceful. Love will give you the facts. But if you're not paying attention to the facts, love will say, you know what, I'm going to give you over to yourself. And so basically the question to myself was, who was I to where I wouldn't recognize her being the wrong woman, and start building from there. Post-divorce, I started telling her that, my goal was to make myself the best me I can be. The tangible things, self-help. I went to go see a counselor. I went to talk to somebody to make sure I didn't have any kind of dormant feelings or dormant emotions that can be stimulated out of me to cause some kind of reaction that I wasn't even really aware that could have existed. And then I wanted to understand myself, but one thing that I understood as I started getting close to Christ was that I would never truly understand myself unless I had a real opportunity to try to get to know who Christ was. My own identity that I've been hiding from, that I thought I knew so much of, was hidden under the identity of who Christ is and who he made me to be. So I would never find myself until I really found him. And I told her that Christ, he's the orchestrator of all things. He's the creator of all things, from what we can imagine to what we can actually see. He created hearts, so when they bruise, he knows how to fix them. He knows how to put them back together. And things don't happen for no reason. There's a purpose in every plan. Even in our mess-ups, God can use our very mess-ups and our very disasters and get the glory out of them. And I think that God is looking for us to see things from his perspective. As I begin to talk, I really start to feel God just kind of well up in me, and almost like my voice just was shaking, but the woman, it was a Caucasian woman, and she was just so there, and I knew that God was speaking, and I knew that she was listening. And when I stopped talking to her, she gave me a hug, and I just encouraged her. I invited her to church, and I encouraged her to stay in her word, take her time to get in that word, and it's everything that she needs is there. If it's provision, he's saying back in Matthew, whoever's following me is going to be provided for. If it's healing, he's saying in your pursuit of me, you have healing. I mean, just whatever it is, it's like the all-in-all answer, the one antidote that can cure everything that can possibly ail you. And so, with all that said, I think that if you're going through something today, understand that there's purpose lined up behind it. Many times, God's purpose equals our pain, and it isn't until we actually get through it and look backwards and you'll see that the pain was necessary in order to fulfill our destiny. So with that being said, 9 minutes taken up. I think I talked your head off too long, but I hope you got what I was saying, and I'll catch you in a minute. Live from Living Word, holla at your boy David S. Later.